Okay, friends, so the purpose of this video is to give us some tips and strategies for dealing with those lovely word problems that we all enjoy. And I'm going to propose that if you spend a certain amount of time, actually more time setting up the problem than you spend trying to solve the problem, you're going to find that they come a lot easier. They come a little faster than if you just dive in and start trying to figure out what the numbers are going to be. At least that's what I've discovered as I've done a lot of these. So the first thing that I want to make sure that you do is actually read the problem. Way too often we just jump in and people are like, oh, what do I know? I know there's a 54 and I know that there's a sum and I'm going to start putting things together. But let's take the time to actually read the question. So the sum of two consecutive even numbers, to think about what that means. So that might be like 2 and 4, or maybe like 8 and 10, so consecutive even numbers, is 54. The sum is 54. I want to find the numbers. So notice that when I was reading it, I was actually trying to make sense of it at the same time. I wasn't just looking at the words, I was really trying to dig into what the question was asking. So that's what we're doing for this first part. The second part is probably the most important aspect of a word problem, and it's figuring out what you don't know. It's not about what you do know. I mean, that comes into play later on. But what's really key is what don't you know. Because you want to name what you don't know. And once you've put a name to it, well, I mean, we know that has power, right? So here I want to try to figure out what is it that I don't know, and usually this last part of the problem is going to help with that. Well, I'm looking for the numbers, right? And I've got two consecutive numbers, so let's define what we don't know. Let's give it a name. So let the first, right, the first of two, consecutive even number, let's call it something. Let's call it X or N or P, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just going to call it X. So if I know what the first consecutive even number is, then, or therefore, I know something about the next number. Because if the first number is 2, then the next number is 4, or 2 more than the first number. If the first number is 8, then the next number is 2 more than 8, or 10. So I know something now about the other number, so I know that the second number, therefore, and this is shorthand for therefore, these 3 dots. Therefore, I know the second number must be equal to 2 more, or x plus 2, than the first number. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to write the equation. Look at all the work I've done before I even get into this writing the equation part. So I'm looking for the sum, and the sum is an addition word that is 54. So the sum of these two numbers, well, the first number is x. I'm going to add it to the second number, which is x plus 2, and that's going to be equal to 54. Now that only came so easily because I had all of this work done ahead of time, all of this thinking out of the way. And now I can go through and solve my equation, so I can just combine my like terms and get 2x plus 2 is equal to 54. Subtracting 2 from both sides, 2x is equal to 52, and dividing both sides by 2, x is equal to 26. Before we go any further, let's check that this even makes sense. So if the first number is 26 and the second number is 28, does that equal 54? Yeah, it sure does. So the two answers or the two numbers, I should say, are 26 and 28. I should put down here that you should take a moment to answer the question. Too often, I've seen people do all of this work and then not actually answer the question that they were asked at the top. So make sure that you're actually answering the question when you're solving these kinds of problems. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to give this one a try before you watch the rest of the video to see how I solve it. Okay, so I'm going to read the problem first. Hopefully you've given this a stab. So the perimeter of a triangle is 93 feet. So the perimeter means that I'm adding up the sides. I have side A of the triangle is twice as long as side B. So let's think about this. I've got side A, got side B. Side A is twice as long as side B, and side A is twice as long as side B. So this is twice as long as side B. This is side B. It's about twice as long. And side C, let's make this C, is 3 feet longer. So 3 feet longer than this side A. This 2A. Okay, find the length of each side. Okay, so let's figure out, so I just read that through. And notice what I did while I was reading it to try to make sense of it. I drew a diagram at about the same time. And that's going to help. So choose a variable. What don't I know? What don't I know anything about? Well, looking back over here, I know something about side A. Side A is twice as long as B. And I know something about side C. Side C is 3 feet longer than A. So the only thing I don't know anything about at all, the mystery person in this problem, if you will, is side B here. So let's define side B as our unknown. So let the length, because we're talking about the length, and the units that we're dealing in here are feet, so in feet, of side B equal, I'm just going to call it, I guess I should call it B, of side B equal B. We'll call it B. So therefore, I know that side A is twice as long as side B. So therefore, side A is twice as long as side B, so it's 2 times B. And I know that C is 3 feet longer than side A, so therefore side C is 3 feet longer than side A, which is 2B, so 3 plus 2B. So now I've got my 3 sides of the triangle, and so if I'm going to find the length of each side, I just need to find a relationship to write the equation with. Well, the perimeter is a relationship, right? The perimeter is another word for sum or for adding. So if I add the 3 sides, the first side B plus the next side 2B and the third side 3 plus 2B, those should all give me 93 feet. So now I've got B plus 2B, that's 3B, 4B, 5B, so 5B plus 3 combining like terms is equal to 93, so subtracting 3 from both sides, 5B is equal to 90, so dividing both sides by 5, B is equal to 18. Let's check and see if that can even make sense, okay? So if I have one side that's 18, and then the next side is twice that, so 36, so 18, and then the next side is 3 more than 36, or 39. So if I add those up, that's 15 plus 8 is 23. 3 and 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, that's equal to 93 feet. So that seems promising as my check. So then let's go ahead and answer the question. So the sides, I'll squeeze it in here. The sides are 18 feet, 36 feet, and 39 feet. And there's the answer to my problem. Okay, so I hope that I'm making my case for the strength or the importance of doing this work up top. It makes writing the final equation a lot easier, and then from here it's just solving, right? So I think the hardest part of these problems is really this top part. And to be perfectly honest, I think sometimes we just try to avoid the work that comes ahead of the problem, and we just try to jump in further down. So take your time, set it up, and hopefully that will help it come a little bit easier. All right, I hope this was useful. I will follow this up with another one on some slightly more difficult problems as well. All right, thanks.